And hello, everyone. Welcome to Delve Requisite. Kristy's. Oh, I know. I was about to say Kristy is hiding behind her own portrait, but it's because she's currently eating that comically large hot dog that we were talking about before we started. Welcome to Delve Requisite.
Tell scale.
Yeah. This week on Delve Requisite, we ask the question: do they have larger hot dogs in Canada than we do here in the United States? The answer may surprise you. More at 10. Before we begin, let us take a quick moment. Let's make a couple of announcements. Sponsors, first of all. Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. If any of our viewers would like to put exclamation point Little Dragon or exclamation point CCG in the chat at any time during tonight's stream. You will get a link to the websites of those lovely sponsors where you can check out the fine goods that they have for sale. Little Dragon Corp being a purveyor of dice, and Cardboard Castle being a brick and mortar tabletop store that does have a lovely online site through which you can purchase anything you might need. Your game, probably a set of dice. I don't know. Maybe they'll sell you a Hot Pocket online. Can't hurt to find out. They probably have a business email. Ask. See what happens. Don't do that. Can you guys imagine if somebody sent this poor store an email and was like, Delve Requisite told me to email you and ask if you'd send me a Hot Pocket in the mail. They
You'd
said
be
you'd
like,
do
oh,
it.
that's great. I guess we're done sponsoring.
Yeah. Like, son of a bitch. Those are our sponsors. Thank you so much to them. Birthday week. Proficiency bonus birthday week. Do we have a, I don't know if we have, do we have like a little exclamation point birthday week thing yet? I don't know that we do.
I don't think so.
Exclamation point birthday does not look like it. So the birthday week, he said, stalling for time as he tried to find where the birthday week information was.
July 18th to 24th.
July 18th to 24th. So that is next week. Kicks off birthday week. What I can tell everybody is that there are prizes, giveaways, and all sorts of good stuff have been secured officially for birthday week. Michael just sent me the information the other day on what he got for us. We will be giving away during our stream next week. We have 2 giveaways to do. Actually, going to be 3 giveaways. We have a set of dice, Die Hard dice, and a set of 10d10 Chessex dice. And then giveaway 2 is a set of D&D logo metal D6s, which are very cool. He sent me a picture of them. And then another set of 10d10 Chessex dice. So you have 2.
What are Die Hard dice?
I think it's like a brand.
Company.
It's like a,
I was thinking the movie Die Hard themed.
Yes, they are. They are D. I would pay a sum of money for a D20, which the 20 was Bruce Willis, and maybe the 1 is like Hans Gruber. Like, no, the Die Hard dice. They are. They're like a sort of like a. They look like ghost dice. They're like sort of translucent. Semi-opaque.
Movie themed.
Spoop'em dice, yeah. Wait. Bruce Willis. Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, Bruce Willis wasn't in Ghost?
No. He was a ghost.
He was a ghost in The Sixth Sense. So yeah, they're sort of like translucent. They have black lettering. The D&D dice are black with red lettering. I can't quite make out the colorations of the Chessex dice. They do look like dark in color though. Then the third giveaway, which is on our show, and will be on other shows. I have agreed that we are going to raffle off a hand-drawn custom one of my maps. So for any of you who have watched the show for a time, you're looking at, well, that's a computer-done one, but you're looking at one of them now. If you've ever watched the show and seen some of the cities, the Naporian map, the maps from the other group, the Niveria map, the Diamond Vale map, the Odricol map, the Volrenheim map, all of those maps I do by hand for the show. I agreed for any of for our show and for any of the other shows on the channel that want one. We'll be raffling off one of those maps, and then we'll be working with the winners of those raffles to. I'll send out a little bit of information that the channel will ask for from them, kind of giving a little bit of a vibe of maybe what type of map they might want, and then I will do a completely customized, made-to-order map that we will be sending to people. So we have those dice, we have map. The other shows on the channel also have plenty of giveaways as well, including map, some of them potentially, who knows. All I can do is encourage you to tune in. We have a lot of great stuff going on next week, and a lot of giveaways to do. And I have to mute Delve Requisite channel because it's blooping in Discord. Mute server. Okay. So, what happened? We lost somebody. Oh, Kristy's back. Okay. I lost Kristy for a moment there. So, without any further wasting of time, let's get into the episode. The crew of the Grimm's Folly is currently sailing from the island of Naporia out in the Iolaquis archipelago towards the Empire, the Ignean Empire's eastern shores, which you can just see. We're here, sailing here from Naporia. They will be sort of skirting their way through some of these smaller islands here, and making their way around Valmony towards the Empire. But in that journey, while having some interesting revelatory moments where we lost Kristy's camera again, and they were interrupted as the cry of "Man overboard" has gone up. Movor, the orcish crew member of the Grimm's Folly, very nonchalantly finding out from Thyxes what the term for being in the water when you weren't supposed to be in the water was, and it was discovered that Movor, way in the distance, had spotted the beginnings of just the sort of barely visible evidence of some sort of debris, possibly of a ship, and upon a small piece of floating debris was in fact what appeared to be a humanoid figure. So, as that cry goes up around the ship, "Man overboard!" Murderbeard, you, I believe, were at the helm. The rest of you guys are kind of, most of you are gathered sort of on the mid deck there, or the main deck. And the beginning of this sort of debris field that you can just make out in the distance is maybe a quarter mile ahead of you. And just beyond that, rolling in between two sort of smaller islands are, you see these like kind of pretty dense fog clouds, and they seem to be rolling forward as you're sailing into not necessarily a storm, but you're sailing into maybe a little bit of inclement weather, and the fog rolling off of these islands is obscuring the surrounding area. But you do see the sailing at your current pace, you will probably come up upon the beginning of this debris field, and within potential rescue distance of this person, if they are still alive, within the next few minutes.
Do we want to investigate this more up close? Because I can help us do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we should see what happened.
Turn Russell up. Oh, I can't. He's max volume.
I am going to ritually cast Water Walk on the party.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I can cast it on like 10 willing people, so like maybe I'll also cast it on Movor and Apora Dazan was like the first mate, right?
She's your
I'm just
second. She's technically your second mate because Thyxes is the first mate.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm gonna just cast it on like the party and then like a couple randos.
A couple of randos. What randos do you want?
A couple
Tea
randos.
kettle. We definitely need to bring tea kettle.
Nymue, Rowan, Scylla,
yeah,
Thyxes, Macbeth is 5, so you can cast on yourselves and 5 other folks if you'd like.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna cast it on Anna Cromwell.
Anna. Okay.
I'm gonna cast it on Apora Dazan. I'm gonna cast it on Tea Kettle. Holy moly. There's a bunch of people here. There's a lot of NPCs.
With Movor, you have 4 people, so you can do one.
Movor, and that's it. So it's 9 people, not 10. I don't know who the 10th would be. I can't.
Might if I might make a suggestion.
Yeah.
If you are going to investigate.
Oh, Vadric?
I was going to say perhaps your ship doctor might be the final
Vadric
edition.
Too. Yeah, I'll get Vadric too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make a circle of like I take a piece of cork and I like crumble it up and I like make like a circle with it and I gather everybody around and I'm like doing ritual shit, I don't know, and then at the end of the like I guess it takes 10 minutes to cast. If it takes one action normally, then it's 10 minutes, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the cork like turns all sparkly, like light on the tops of waves, and it like adheres to everybody's feet, and now they can walk on water.
Okay. So, the tapestry of words that was just painted for us there, I do ritual shit, is done. Scylla performs this ritual. You guys cover. We'll call it half the distance between when the this debris was spotted and where it is. So you're, 500 or so feet off of the sort of beginning of the debris field, and this fog cloud is definitely like starting to roll in. The outside like wisps of it are starting to like reach kind of towards your ship. You're about to sail into this, so you can still sort of see where the debris is, but it's becoming a little more obscured as you guys finish this ritual and are lowered and laddered and climb and whatever have you off of the vessel. You climb down. As you guys leave the ship, the crew like hauls in the sails to slow the ship down to give you time to like outpace it and get ahead and to check it out and come back. And the 10 of you, so the 5 of the party, as well as Tea Kettle, as well as your bosun Anna Cromwell, as well as your second mate Apora Dazan, as well as Movor, who does not have an official role on the ship necessarily, is just deckhand.
He's the big boy.
He's big boy, the official ship big boy, and your ship's doctor Vadric, your little slightly elderly little gnomish gentleman. Or you guys kind of stand atop the waves, your feet kind of as the sea sort of like rolls underneath you, you guys sort of bob along with it, as if standing on some sort of invisible flotation device, and you are free to move about.
How far is the guy from us? when we
about
get-
500 feet.
Okay, I'll look at Vadric and say, "Let's go," and keep my hand on my sword, but walk with him because I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But I want him to get to the guy that we can see.
Yeah, he's kind of, he'll stick with you as you guys begin to advance, and he's sort of like walking a little off balance on this water walk spell, and he's constantly looking down. The water
So
is
Rowan has no idea what this is. Like,
blessedly, at least, you're still sort of you haven't gone quite far enough north to get out of sort of the largely tropical area here, so the water is fairly clear. You can see below it, you can see some like reefs and some rock formations and fish moving about and stuff like that, which is better probably than just be like looking down into like black ocean. You can see the bottom. It's only about, you would estimate, maybe 60, 70 feet here. So you begin moving your way, and Badrick is following behind you. Oh dear, this is highly unusual. How long does this last again? I'm not a strong swimmer.
1 hour.
Oh, well, very well then. I sorely wish to be back aboard the boat by the time that happens.
If you fall in, I can make you breathe.
Oh, well, some comfort, I suppose, but all the same, the ship would be better, I think. Anyway, let's go. And he
Rowan
follows
keep
along
like
the
a
railing.
hand near him, like it, like kind of like as if to say, like, if you go down, I will catch you. I'll put you. He's a gnome, right?
He's a gnome, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
he's
like, I
only-
could probably toss him fairly easily.
Yeah, he's
too.
only like 3'2". He's pretty short.
Yeah. So I'll stick with him as we move towards. Try to talk to him and be like, this is weird too, but we'll be okay. I promise.
Okay, so he sticks with you. Movor is like deeply fascinated by the magic, as he's like kind of just.
Nymue finds 10 gold in the water. I
Ooh.
guess.
Hey, how'd she get it? No one knows. So you guys head forward as you proceed and get closer. The fog does make it a little more difficult to see to any distance. You probably have limited visibility, only to about 20, 30-ish feet from where you guys are at any point. But you do begin to see pieces of like broken, partially burned, floating bits of wood. You see there's like a singed piece of canvas, part of a barrel floats by. As you progress a little further, you see there's like more and more, this slightly scattered debris here. Everybody can go ahead and make me an investigation check as you are trying to seek out the now obscured humanoid form that you guys had seen from a distance.
9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also 9.
Okay.
You said investigation.
Hey.
Yes, investigation.
14.
5.
Oh man.
Wow.
Doing real good.
Yikes.
I'll roll for Thyxes.
Well, this is certainly water.
It's like water on me.
My perception check might have been more appropriate there, huh? Thyxes got a 15. Was the highest besides Thyxes was a 14?
Yep.
Okay. So Thyxes rolled the highest, but since I'm playing Thyxes, that seems unnecessary. So I think what we'll do is, Nymue, you are near enough. You're only about 10 feet from Thyxes when you see he kind of starts, and he points a little ways away from you, and he draws your attention, and you see they're floating top of their torso, draped across a floating piece of wood, is what appears to be a human man. Thyxes gives a start and he goes, "Oh, yeah, he's there!"
All right, let's check them out. This way.
Okay. So the rest of you begin to like gather as you've sort of fanned out a little bit, looking around. Nymue, you and Thyxes will get to him first. So you like
Okay.
roll up on where this person is floating in the water, and it'll take a few moments before the others arrive. Still, so you have a moment.
Can I? Suck at medicine, but I'm gonna try and do a medicine check to see if this person's
Yeah,
still,
you can
like,
absolutely check
alive
to
or
see if
it's
they're
a
alive.
Corpse. What do I get? 7.
7.
+1. That's a
He's
6 + 1.
he's alive.
Okay, that's great.
Not not a super difficult check. Like you can tell that he is at least alive.
I double check my work with Thyxes. I'm like, are you sure he's alive?
He definitely appears to be alive. Let's see how Thyxes can do a
Alright,
medicine
alright.
roll too. Thyxes gets a what's his medicine? Thyxes gets an 11. Also, masterfully coming to the conclusion that yes, this is in fact not a corpse.
Okay, good.
They do. You sort of like you're able to kind of like put the back of your hand sort of near his like nose and mouth, and you can feel like his breath comes slowly. He's clearly like unconscious, but he does appear to be breathing. You can see that he is. His face is like his face, the back of his hands, like his forearms, is very red, very like it's already starting to like peel and blister a little bit. He's clearly been out here for a bit. You think maybe he might have been floating for like a day out here, just like under the sun. You don't see any other injuries on him immediately, except for the like exposure. That he just looks like he's been like baked under the sun. He doesn't appear to be wounded necessarily. So as
Is
you
he
confirm
the
this,
only
ahead.
one around him, or
He
is
is the-
there like a group of them?
he's
or-
the only one you guys see.
Okay.
And the
There's
rest
like
of
there's like fog coming, right?
you guys are kind of in a fog at this point.
We're in a
It's
fog.
definitely like
Can I, because I'm not really gonna be able to see a lot, can I try to like listen out for any like disturbance in the water? Like
Sure.
any like loud movement in the water, or like from above? Like if it sounds like there's something coming from above.
absolutely. You can make a perception check for me if you're listening.
Dirty 20.
Okay. It sounds pretty quiet out here. You hear the sort of the waves kind of like bobbing some of this debris around. But you do not hear you don't hear anything. Eventually you hear the sound of like the Grimm's Folly cutting through the waves a little bit as it's like catching up behind you guys slowly. So like you can hear them like they're coming because you've been sailing in this direction. But you don't hear the sound of any other ships in the area. You don't hear anything like airborne. You don't get the sense that like nothing is disturbing the surface of the water. Oh, thank you for who just restarted Groovy.
I got him in line.
Oh, you know what? I didn't. I know why. I didn't loop it. You got it.
I
Cool.
looped it.
Excellent. So yeah, you don't hear like you don't hear anything like disturbing the surface of the water, like there's anything coming up from below or anything like that. Seems like this dude in this wreckage is just kind of out here, and it's clearly like bits
Rowan
that have
also found 5 gold.
good. There was like some coins on like a piece of driftwood. You just there is clearly these are like bits that came off of like a larger vessel of some sort that have like floated to here. You don't get the sense that this is the site of like whatever happened to whatever caused this debris. These have like migrated on the current for a time. Cool.
Something doesn't seem right about
Oh,
Which is oh no,
That's-
it was
I broke the it's me. I broke
Rip.
Discord. I fixed it again, hopefully. Something doesn't seem right was the last thing the audience said.
yeah. I was saying something doesn't seem right about this. Where did he come from? Where is everybody else? And the fog, because you had told me, like, when I did, like, my little weather, like, when I do my druid craft to see what the weather is, didn't it say it was going to be, like, a nice day today? Or did I see that it was going to be foggy?
I do not believe that you did one for this particular day.
No, because I remember you saying, like, in the previous thing that it was, like, surprising that we found the fog, because, like, I did my little weather thing, and then it was, like, it said it was going to be nice.
I can't remember, but within the context of that question, this fog does seem weird.
Because that's like just that's basically just an everyday, like, good morning, like, here's your weather forecasting.
That, I didn't remember you, doing it specifically, because I, like, had thought about this, but, if we sort of rewind there, that is... It still makes sense. Like, you would have... Yes, like, you were not expecting this fog, and yet here it is.
And does it go, like, when we were approaching it, did it go, like, as far as we could see, or was it, like, concentrated to a specific area?
It seems to be rolling, like, it seems to have, like, rolled in off of, like, kind of between two of these, like, little islands that are sort of in the vicinity here. But hard to say whether that's...
Yeah.
It's a little less localized than you would expect of, like, if you were thinking of, you know, somebody, like, summoning it up.
Should we bring him back to the ship for now?
I think it'll be easier to help him if we're on the ship as opposed to the water. It seems like Badrick's having a hard time.
Yeah, for sure.
Badrick has also assessed that he is alive at this point. And he says, I can't see any wounds on him. He doesn't appear to be stabbed or burned or anything else readily apparent just on this quick examination, but there's only so much I can do while the man is floating on a piece of driftwood. We should get him back to the ship, if not to get him out of the elements and this bizarre fog.
I'll look at Movor and just kind of, like, tap him on the shoulder a little, then motion, and we'll both pick up an arm and start walking him out.
Hoist him.
Yeah, just start going back.
What is he wearing any clothes that are like...
Is he naked?
No.
Nope, I'm not concerned. I just want to get this done.
Are those cheeks out? No, like, are his clothes like of a certain like design, like associated with a certain culture? Or is it just like a generic, like he's in a tunic and some pants?
He's in a tunic and pants. He's not wearing boots currently. I will say he's not wearing like a naval officer's uniform, like a naval uniform. So you don't think this is like a, you know, he's not. You don't get the sense that he's a sailor of, you know, like one of the navies that might be like kicking around in the area. He's not wearing the colors, nor at least on immediate inspection, or cursory inspection, does it appear that he is wearing the colors or marked in any way that would indicate him as an agent or an employee of any of the like mercantile trade companies. You know, typically they're a lot of their like crews will wear specific colors indicating that they are, you know, members of the company. Some of them, like the Moxham Trading and Mercantile, tattoo their employees a lot of times. He does not appear to have any of those markings. So as far as you can tell, he's just like a guy in the water.
Oh, I don't like this.
I don't like
He's a lich.
Oh.
I don't like him.
Is there any, like, identifying marks or colors in this debris field? Like, is there any logos or anything?
Make another investigation check if you want to kind of poke around here for a while.
Sure, well, once I figured out, yeah, he's probably alive, I started poking around.
Sure.
Is spice? Natural 20!
Oh, okay. Very good.
Lucky.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do with that. I'm gonna make another roll here as well. Okay, so here's what we're gonna say.
It's only a 22, though.
That's fine. I'm gonna give you two pieces of information. One is a piece of information that Nymue, you yourself are able to pull. The other is a piece of information that Anna Cromwell feeds you as she's
Okay.
like helping you with this. So you're moving around, you're kind of walking across the water, you're looking for where you see debris, things that are floating, kind of flipping stuff over, taking a look. Anna Cromwell, who is like looking at this with you, seeing the the bits of the bits of wood, things like that. She tells you, she says, I don't know anything about the specific vessel that lad might have been upon, but I would bet my bottom dollar that this was a ship out of Mithrin somewhere. She's just kind of like lifting the debris. She says, this style of joining union between some of these planks of wood here, very popular in Mithlindian docks.
Alright.
What you find, Nymue, similarly as you were like flipping things around, you find a piece of it's like a ripped up, partly burned piece of canvas, long since extinguished, just floating in the water like this. But and then there's some like tangled up like rope of rigging that is still in it. You kind of like whack that around, shake it out, kind of take a look at it, seeing, hoping maybe you can see some sort of an insignia, maybe, or part of one that might have been like painted on the sails or something. But what you find tangled up in this insignia, or in this piece of sail, it's like poked part of the way through, and it got stuck there, which is why it's still there. You pull it out. It is an arrow. It's about, yay long, a couple feet long. It is made of, you believe, it appears to be made of an extremely hard wood that grows in certain isolated portions of coastal regions around like the northern portions of Orahol, like a little further north than where you guys currently are now. The arrowhead, the tip, is made of bone of some sort. And there is sort of like a little, almost like decorative notch just behind the arrowhead that appears to be made, you think, of coral.
Alright, I will point that out to my group. Hold up the arrow. And hold it out if anyone wants to inspect it.
Is this familiar to any of us? Like the make of this? That sounds pretty unique.
Those of you familiar with like nautical travel in the region, can make a let's call it either a history or a religion check.
Would that be me and Murderbeard since we're like actual like background pirates?
Would be you and Murderbeard, and it's probably Apora and Tea Kettle as well.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Tea Kettle's about to lore drop us so hard. Make us all look like idiots.
Tea Kettle rolled a 9. You know, shit.
Aw.
Damn it, Tea Kettle!
And Apora rolled a nat 20. Okay. How'd you do, Murderbeard?
14.
14? Okay. Scylla, Murderbeard, and Apora. What you know from this, it's not possible to glean super specific information just from this arrow, but there is a realm of possibilities that you are pretty like sure based on this. There are creatures that dwell along the coastal places in Orahol that are there's a few different types that are semi-aquatic or amphibious, some of them, and it is not uncommon. It is a known factor for people who are like making their life on the sea, sailing around, that in addition to like other pirates, slavers, raiders, things like that, there are also reavers of monstrous origin that lurk out in the waters of the worlds. And this type of arrow could be a few different things. Could be there's a couple of different things that it could be from, but you're fairly certain that this probably is a good indication that perhaps you have stumbled upon the wreckage of a ship that fell fated to one of these types of things, a reaver vessel of some sort of perhaps an aquatic species in the area.
I'm waiting to see if Murderbeard says anything. Because I know what I'm about to do.
Well, it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst.
I think we should get off the water now.
Yeah, that's probably a smart move.
I agree!
Okay.
Like, run. Get off the water now.
When Rowan hears that, she just starts running, not caring if she's like dragging Movor and this dude. She's like, nope.
You guys
That's all
start
he's
carrying him. Vadric is like as fast as his little legs will carry him. He's like keeping up with you guys.
I will carry Vadric, even though I'm a dwarf and not much taller than him.
You pick up Vadric.
Not the feet.
You pick him up. He goes, "This is not dignified."
I put him on my shoulders and go, aha! Now we're the size of a normal man!
I am going to stay at the back to make sure that everybody else gets... Because I will be the best off if something happens, but
Okay.
I want to make sure everyone else gets on.
So you guys start to run. Scylla from like sort of near you. It's actually getting a little bit difficult to see each other if you get too far apart. Again, you only have visibility about 30 feet in any direction. But Tea Kettle, you hear, or Scylla, you hear Tea Kettle using a voice that she's mimicked from somewhere as you guys are like running. Tea Kettle's like, out of the water, out of the water, out of the water, as she's like running beside you. Apora is brings up the front of the group. She seems fairly comfortable with the water walking. I keep saying she. They, sorry. Apora is kind of like lively, long strides, takes to the front, gets the vessel first to climb up and begins to help the other members of the crew to lower things down, to help you guys bring up this unconscious person and get him back aboard the ship. As you guys are like climbing back on, Apora is already in the process of like striding up and down the deck, like smacking the crew into action, and they are in the process of saying, "Look sharp and eyes over the edge of the deck. No slacking now, we might not be alone in these waters. Prepare yourselves." And the crew is simultaneously sort of getting ready. The rest of you make it back aboard the ship, and Anna Cromwell. Go ahead.
The second we're at the ship and I can get like a rope or something, I am just like lashing it to this guy. Like, yep. I'm like, this is gonna hurt, buddy. I don't care. And I'm like,
he doesn't seem to mind as he's quite unconscious. Yeah. You guys pushing him.
I'm like pushing him up above me so they have like.
Yeah, and there's 4 or 5 sailors come over and they help you haul this guy onto the deck, and you guys scramble on after.
Want him out of the way. I don't want to worry about saving his butt if anything goes on.
Anna Cromwell turns towards you, Murderbeard. She goes, "Captain, do you wish us to load the guns? Should we prepare for an attack?"
Probably wouldn't hurt.
She turns, she goes, "You heard 'em, boys! Loose the cannons! Arm the mangonels! Prepare to defend the ship should any monsters come out of this fog!" And the crew springs to action, preparing the Grimm's Folly for an unseen threat as you guys progress further into the fog. So you are back on the ship now. You have this unconscious man, like starfish, just like flopped out on the deck. What are you doing?
I'll look to the closest crew guy I know they're all working, but I'm like, look, you're strong enough, and say, drag this guy below, Vadric, go with him and start figuring out what's wrong with him. And then to the crew person, say, get back up here quickly. I'm just trying to get everything moving and get him out of the way. I don't want to trip over him. I don't like it.
Crew member sort of like snaps off what I think he probably thinks is like a very like professional salute, but he's like a sloppy pirate, and it's not great. "Oh, man.
Your captain, don't salute me. Do it."
He goes, wait. Oh, I'm confused about the chant. Never mind. Okay. And he picks up this guy, throws him like fireman carry style over one shoulder, and heads off below decks, Vadric like padding quickly at his side. He goes, he's probably unconscious because he's been floating in the water and he's been exposed. I'm gonna do something to try and wake him up. If he does, I'll call up. And disappears down below decks. Door closes behind them, leading to the below decks portion of the ship.
I will go to Tea Kettle, and I will say, we need to keep an eye on the water, probably from lower. We won't see much from up in the crow's nest. So will you watch with me along the edges?
Oi, yes.
We're keeping an eye out for stuff in the water.
I'll do the same at the front of the ship.
Alrighty. You guys move into positions, keeping your eyes peeled, watching for danger. Murderbeard and Rowan, what are you guys specifically doing? After a couple of like very frenzied minutes of like the cannons, you hear the cannons below deck are like unlashed and rolled out through their portholes. Somebody mans the mangonel in the front of the ship. Somebody gets on the ballista. Another crew member like slots a bolt into it. And then it goes quiet. And the only sounds are the waves sort of slapping against the sides of the ship as this fog rolls over you, and everybody is just waiting. And 24 sets of eyes of your crew and yourselves are scanning over the edge, looking out into the water, waiting to see if something's going to happen. Murderbeard and Rowan, what are you doing during this time?
I am back at the helm.
Okay.
And I'm going to, with my keen pirate ears, listen to see if I can hear the distinct sound of another ship or something.
Okay. Ron, what are you up to?
I am staying like near one of the sides of the ship and like looking out, but like nervous energy because she doesn't know what's happening. So she's probably like crossing the ship a couple times and like checking both sides. Like she can't stand
Okay.
still.
After a couple of minutes, Movor like,
If enemy come from fog, shout for Movor. Movor go below.
he heads down to where Vadric took your unconscious individual there. And it is about 2 minutes after that that you hear this sort of like stifled like and there's a very brief what sounds like sort of a commotion. You hear like something like thuds below deck. And then Movor comes up from below decks again, and he like thumbs over his shoulder, and he goes,
Waterman, wake up.
I will down.
I'm gonna stay up.
I'm staying out here.
Same.
I'll go check him out.
okay. Thyxes will go with Nymue.
And I will maintain a mind link with Murderbeard for the
Okay. So Nymue, you and Thyxes head down below. Movor like swaps positions with you. He's like,
Movor, stay up here now. No one to listen to, man.
Good idea. Just keep your eyes on the water.
Yes.
and you guys head down below. And what you find is your friend is indeed awake. He's sitting up on sort of like the table that is set up down there. It looks like the thud that you heard was a crate of like some of the medical supplies that you have here got like knocked over in like a brief sort of commotion. But Vadric is in the process of like handing him a flagon of what you assume probably to be water, and sort of like patting him on the knee. And as you come down, he says, "Oh, yes, he's awake. Had quite a start when he came to consciousness. Probably thought he was still under attack, but we've sorted everything out now."
Are you okay?
Oh, me? Oh, fine.
No,
Oh, you meant him. That makes more sense.
Obviously. I'm sure you're just fine.
What am I adjusting here? Oh, I'm not
What
doing it on the
is-
right.
What is the last thing you remember?
The individual, he kind of, he sort of looks you up and down. He says, "Always on a sailing ship. We were attacked. Oh, I don't know who you people are or how long I was in the water, but I think I might be the only survivor."
What makes you think that?
He says, I suppose I should start from the beginning,
That would be helpful.
He says, "My name is Eldon.
Oh.
I was travelling aboard a ship by the name of the Starling Wit. I've been doing some travelling recently. I'd never left Naviria before. The last 6 months, thought I'd see a bit of the world. I was a guard there, you see, so I know my way around the sword a little bit. And there was this vessel here, the Starling Wit. They were looking to hire on a few extra lads who could help offer some extra protection.
we was attacked. A sea devil reaver ship came out of nowhere, ambushed us. He thinks he seems to be trying to, like, piece together. So, I'm sorry that everything happened fast and...
That's okay. Take your time. There's no rush. Take your time. And as I'm telling him, take your time, I'm mentally to Murderbeard relaying that information.
He says the Starling Wit was a merchant ship, you see. Didn't have much in the way of defences, and the Reaver ship came out of nowhere. Sea Devils fired a sort of ballista anchor shots, latched onto the hull and reeled themselves into it. The men tried to repel the boarders, but they were on us in seconds. He says, I'll lose track of things for a minute there, but I'll remember myself, the captain, and one other man we got forced below decks and we barricaded ourselves inside the galley. We thought to regroup, gather ourselves and make another press. I heard the monsters plundering the ship from outside while we were locked in. And, well, eventually we decided we'd try to make a break for a longboat and escape. There was too many of them for us to fight off. The ship was already lost. And I'll remember leaving the galley and running above decks, and I says, I think the captain was cut down, and there was this massive one, bigger than the biggest man you ever seen. He hit me, and that's about the last thing I'll remember. He hit me so hard, I flew clear off the ship. And then I remember being in the water, and I remember them scuttling the ship. I think they only let me live because they didn't know I was there. And then nothing after that.
Was the big one the leader of the monsters?
He says, I'm not sure. It was hard to tell. They didn't fight like you or I might, like anything civilized. They just flooded over the sides of the ship and started killing anyone they could get their hands on. It was certainly big and mean enough. But it was hard to tell. Everything was too chaotic.
How many crew did you start with?
He said, I believe the Wit was sailing with a contingent of 32.
And you were outnumbered a lot?
He says, I think so. He says, or maybe there wasn't even as many, and it just seemed like that they fought like creatures possessed. He sort of shakes his head. You have to understand that most of the men on the ship were not fighters. He said me and 3 others had been hired specifically
because we could wield a sword. The wit was holding something of enough extra value besides their regular cargo that they wanted the
Do you
extra
know-
protection.
Do you know what the cargo was?
He shakes his head. He says, "I don't, but I do think that the Sea Devils took it."
Maybe targeted?
He kind of shrugs. He says, I don't know. I don't think so. He says that the wit's cargo was mostly standard stuff. Spices, supplies. We were sailing from Austin Vale to Deep Harbor.
Out of character, how long of a journey is that?
Austin Vale to Deep Harbor is on the western side of the continent in Midland Day. Deep Harbor is basically like around the Horn, like around the bottom of the continent and into the Gulf that you guys
Quite
are
the
currently like
journey.
sailing across. It's a pretty long journey.
Okay.
And he says most of the supplies. He says that they took. We heard him. He says they took the extra food, the water, wood, nails, supplies, things they needed to repair their own ship, things they thought was useful. They didn't have any care for the spices or the trade goods or anything like that. We heard them hurling it into the sea. He says, but I know whatever that crate was that the wit was travelling with, I know that was the thing what made them hire the extra security, the extra guards.
How big was the crate?
He sort of like puts his arms out like as wide as they'll go. He says,
Bit bigger than this. Heavy too, from the looks of it when they loaded it on. He says, but I heard him crack open something. I assume it was that, and they seemed fascinated by whatever they found. But he shakes his head. He says, I don't know. I was only listening through a door, but it didn't seem to me like they knew it was there, like they were looking for it. It seems like they just found it.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's pulling back information at all? Like if he actually did see what was in it?
Sure.
Or if he's like too scared to talk too much?
yeah, good, make an insight check.
18.
18. You don't think so. Doesn't seem like he's trying to hide information from you.
Okay. Alright, well, you take a rest for now. You're safe here for now. My captain will probably come see you later and ask you maybe the same, maybe different questions. But for the moment, just rest, and we will figure out what happened, okay?
He nods and he says, "Oh, and thank you." He said, "I would have been dead for sure, left out there adrift any longer."
Like the lucky predicament that we found you.
Nods, says, "Oh,
Okay, doctor will take care of you. Get some rest, get some food, and our captain will come see you soon."
very well."
And he sort of like lays back down.
Go up and relay that information mentally to Murderbeard so updated.
So this conversation takes place below deck. The rest of you are up above, keeping a sharp eye, waiting, for something to come out of the fog. And nothing's happening. All seems quiet. Nymue eventually comes back up, bearing the information that she just gleaned from downstairs.
He seems pretty shaken up, pretty forthcoming. Us saving his ass and all. but the crate that was taken was pretty big. I don't know what the in it. It's either targeted or a lucky happenstance that they found it. And it's hard to tell. Maybe they were overrun, but he's not sure if they were even outnumbered 2-1 or if it was just the monsters were so strong.
From his description, do any of us have a better idea of what they might be?
He called them sea devils, which is not as not as colloquial a term as it might seem. It is a name for a thing. There are creatures known as sea devils. Murderbeard, Scylla, you probably are familiar. Pretty much everybody calls them sea devils. The race of creature that these things are something called Sahajin. They are they're like an aquatic. Let's see if I have a picture one I can show you.
Bean boys.
So, yeah, Sahajin are like an amphibious sort of fish type of race. Extremely hostile. I don't think there's a picture of these guys in the book.
I got a pic of them. I'll put it in the chat.
If you throw a pic of them up there, that would be great. So whereas creatures like a Kuatoa are sort of like more like shorter, sort of rotund-ish, and where Naga are like a little more like snake-like-ish. These guys are like a very fairly large. Most of them are like human in height and size, but certain ones of them can be much bigger and much fiercer. They spend most of their time under or in the water, though they can survive on land. They do maintain a type of ship called a reaver, which is a ship that they pretty much only use for ambushing and fighting other like ships of like other non-aquatic races. You probably know that it is weird that there are apparently Sahajin in this area. Typically they're trouble a lot of times for fishing vessels and trade ships further north, like along the coast of like Valand, northern parts of the Empire. There are some like clans and tribes of them much further south than this, like way down in certain portions of like the Honorandan coast. But this close to the Gulf, and among the more densely populated portions of the Iolaquis Islands, they're pretty thoroughly patrolled by like the Ignean and Mithlindian navies, enough that like it's rare for them to be in this region.
Love it.
It doesn't seem right that those are here.
You also know that Sahajin are not known for taking prisoners or leaving anybody alive when they clash with vessels. So the fact that this guy survived is lucky for him. They don't typically miss anybody when they take a ship.
So
Well-
you're probably right.
He was very lucky. Captain, should we try to sail through this fog and hope we don't run into them, or do you want to try to find the thing that they took and perhaps destroy the problem before it becomes one for us?
I think that's a decision left to the crew. If we want to go after them and see what they found, we will. If not, we'll go around.
I kind of want Victoria wants to know what they took.
I want to know what they took.
Brittney wants to know what they took. Rowan does not give it.
We have a way, if we were to leave, that we could continue to communicate with the crew. They would be sitting ducks if we left them.
I want to leave the ship.
Wait, what?
We do have a second ship.
Like a
that
small
we're
ship?
carrying.
What did
And we have
what did Nymue? No. What did Nymue say before?
We have the 2 rings.
Yeah,
that
we
my
have
father
Nimue
gave me.
rings.
Oh yeah.
My
have some
parents'
rings.
wedding rings that are sending rings.
Yeah.
So we probably don't want to take the smaller, less armed boat to go fight.
Apora,
We need
Apora,
that for later.
Apora
need that for
says, perhaps it would be prudent to try and glean more information from our rescuee to gain some sort of an idea of where the Sahajin came from, where they might be operating. And then perhaps we sail our very large, heavily armed ship there and blast them into oblivion with these cannons.
Sounds good to me. I did say that the captain would go down and speak to him. Got an in.
There is a difference between a reaver taking an unarmed merchant vessel and having the misfortune of coming along something such as the Grimm's Folly.
They got a point.
Sahajin are not known for tangling with naval vessels if they can avoid it.
They'll just give us the crate back.
No, we will probably have to kill them for it.
Ah, damn. I was hoping they wouldn't want to fight and just give it to.
Look, Sea Dogs, we had dibs on that crate, and by the international laws of dibs, you have to give it up.
Sahajin are well known by the accords of the Seashell
Like their
Pact of
keepers?
1512 that they do not recognize the international laws of dibs.
Then they're gonna recognize these cannons.
I will give Murderbeard the map that we used for navigating stuff, so that he can try to figure out from this guy where he thinks they got attacked. Just in case he can pinpoint
Thanks.
stuff.
Anybody else coming down?
I mean, yeah, if you want people to go. I'm not good at talking to people. I got 8 charisma, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why I was talking to him. I have a 0 modifier.
I will go.
Everybody else was ready to have to blow something out of the water.
We didn't know what was going on. I'll go with you. Scylla will go with you.
Everybody's like, I guess I'll go talk to him. Everybody else is like,
We didn't know where they were.
To be fair, if Thyxes was really here, he really would have came with me because he's the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rowan will go down too, because she figures she'll hear the fighting anyway.
Sure, does that mean I get to stay on top this time? Cool.
No, we have Movor to yell. I mean, he's pretty capable of
That's
seeing
fine,
things
I'll
coming.
sit up.
Just anime jump down all of the stairs at once. Just ping pong ball down the staircase to us.
Nice. Do it. I superiority dice for no reason.
So you guys head down below.
Yeah.
Eldon, your gentleman that you fish out of the drink, is currently having some sort of a a salve that's been slathered onto the back of these reconstituted seaweed strip things. He's having them wrapped around his arms, and it's being applied to his face and neck by Vadric. And as you come down, they're kind of having just a sort of a casual conversation, and Eldon is like, I do appreciate the medical attention, Doctor, but I must say that this, whatever it is, smells terrible. And Vadric says, "Oh yes, it's quite pungent, but it will hopefully keep you from getting an infection as your sun exposure heals. It's fabulous stuff. These herbs." And he says, "Oh, this is, I believe, the officer corps is here to have another chat with you, my friend." And he kind of steps back and points a warning finger at Eldon. He says, "Don't scratch at it." Eldon holds up a hand. He says, "God's honor, I won't." And he turns to look as you guys come in. He says, "Oh, I feel I should thank you again for pulling me out of the water the way you did. I fear I would have been food for the fish before it was too much longer out there."
Good lord, it smells in here.
All right.
I think it's actually rather nice. It reminds me of my early days on the sea.
I'm sure it does.
This is our cap further.
He, at the name Murderbeard, he, arches an eyebrow, and he's like... He looks around, and he, takes in kind of the Ignean-designed, room that you guys are in. And he looks at you, and he looks at this, mismatched group of people, and he goes, "Bloody gods, are you pirates?"
Oh, look, we got a bright one here.
He kind of holds up his hands. He's like, "Well, in fairness to me, I was unconscious when you brought me aboard. I've only seen this room, your doctor, and her."
I mean, we
All
could have
right.
left you in the water.
He says, "I'm
You
not
don't want to hang out with
I'm
pirates.
not complaining. I'm just trying to get the full scope of the situation here."
Or that one could have eaten you. And he, thumbs at Scylla.
Yeah. We all point to Scylla.
Which is still a possibility.
He says,
If you
"I
don't cooperate.
I deeply would prefer not to be eaten." And he said, "Under normal circumstances, I would have hoped that the rather foul-smelling salve that your doctor has applied to me would have made that less likely, but based on the good lady's comments, I'm not entirely sure that that's the case."
Nah, you're merely seasoned now, my lad.
He says, "Well, I can offer you, though I don't know much more than I already told this one here. I can offer you any information I can, and I'd gladly earn my keep on the vessel until you can bring me somewhere to put me ashore. If that means I can keep him from being eaten. Says I've narrowly avoided that fate once already for one journey. I'm not keen to repeat the experience."
We'll see about all that, but more importantly, I'd like a little bit more information on this sea dog ship of yours.
The Sea Devil, the Reaver ship, you mean, that attacked us?
Yeah.
He nods, and you can tell he's thinking as best he can, and he says, "We were with the ship, the map here to match." He says, "We were heading through the small chain of islands here, around the southern part of Barabora. The plan, I think, was to resupply one last time at Valmawavi before we cut inwards into the harbour and made our way in towards our final destination. Into the Gulf, rather."
Do we have a general idea of where on the map the like wreckage was?
So Naporia is here. You guys left that way. You guys are currently threading the gap between these two islands. What did I say? Did I say Barabor? He was going this. They were going this way, actually. You guys went from Naporia this way. You are threading the gap. There's a very narrow gap between these two islands that you guys are passing between, and like that's where the fog was coming. It was like coming off of these two islands into this like little strait that's made here. The wreckage was there. He basically is explaining that their ship was attacked. If I could zoom out a little bit, that'd be a big deal. But their ship was basically attacked in like sort of like this area. Because they were heading like this way. Valmony was where they were going to resupply here, and then continue to head west into it. The map cuts off here, but this is like the interior of the Gulf. That being the Empire, that being Honorand, and like Mythlindian territory is like towards the inner portion of this. So they were heading this way when they were attacked, and he seems to have floated for like a day or so this way, to where you guys picked them up like up here. Your original like course of travel is basically like through here, up this way, between Valmony and that's Ilovis Papilla, something like that. Some of these names I don't remember giving these islands. And then like north towards like up towards like Half Hook, and then cutting west towards the Empire. So the city that you guys are heading for is like kind of in this sort of region here of the Empire on the coast. That's sort of the geographical location where everything is.
Sorry, I'm on like a 30-second delay watching the stream.
Oh yeah, I forgot it is like behind you guys.
Yeah, I'm a little lost on that, but
so basically,
are we able to like figure out where we think like the attack happened?
So yeah, so what he's able to give you, the information that he's able to give you, you guys are currently like in this there's sort of this chain of islands that like it's Suramar, Duramar, and Palomar here, these like three islands. And then like to the northwest of them, there's these two like unnamed ones. You guys are currently like, you picked him up sailing right between those. There's like a little tiny strait between those two unnamed islands. You guys picked him up. Yeah, you guys picked him up sailing right between those, because your path leads you between those islands and then like northwest up this way towards where the Empire is. You're pretty sure he got attacked. The Starling Wit was attacked to the south of where you guys are now, between sort of this like little island group here labeled Valsera and Palomar here, because they were coming from the south, they were heading like this way and then turning, like heading west towards the interior of the Gulf. So you think the attack happened probably a day's sail south of where you currently are. And what he tells you about the ship, as he's like kind of racking his brains more about it, he tells you, he says he doesn't think that there was more than like a dozen of them at most. He said it was very, it's very hard for him to tell. They basically like came out of nowhere, hit the vessel with these two like ballista launched projectiles that like pierced the side of the ship with ropes attached to them, and then the Sahajin like reeled themselves in, and just like came over the sides and started killing people. So it was like a little bit of a bloodbath that he loses track of some of this in, but he doesn't think it was more than like a dozen of them at most. He's also able to tell you that the ship that they were on was not that large. He guesses maybe 50 feet long, and quite narrow, which is typical for a Sahajin Reaver. But it is not a vessel that would be equipped for like long voyages. There's nowhere really for them to store like a lot of supplies. So his like feeling is that wherever these Sahajin are operating from is probably not more than like a half a day's sail from where the Starlingwood was attacked, giving you guys like a decent kind of like area where you think you could maybe track them to. Somewhere around like maybe the southern tip of this small unnamed island right to the east of Valsura.
I think we should go find what they took.
Yeah, it's my gut's instinct to go after that.
Arr, plunder, says Tea Kettle, who's in the room.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
In like a spot on impression of Thorn.
Captain? Rowan?
I'm with the crew on this. If everyone wants to go, I'm okay with that.
Never gonna turn down a chance to steal something cool.
All right.
And I'd like you all to appreciate the fact that I didn't just say booty, even though I could have.
Why didn't
I don't think you deserve a compliment for that.
Tea Kettle claps.
Oh,
Tea Kettle, don't encourage him.
don't indulge that. I just think we need it's a good distraction for one. Also, it gives us time to figure out what the fuck we're doing before we get to the other place.
Also, it sounds like some really cool shit to steal.
Let's chart the course.
All right.
And
That-
also money, yes.
That decided, you guys chart your course. At this point, what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you collectively make I should come up, I think I might invent a stat for this game. I don't know, I haven't told you guys this yet, but I've been thinking about this. I might invent a stat, and the working title so far is that the name of the stat is just going to be boat.
Boat stat.
I know it's like vehicle handling, but I
Boat.
do think I want to give you guys like access to like a boat stat that will be used for like general checks in like operating the vessel over like periods of time.
Sure.
So that you can gain like modifiers in it that are unrelated to your like necessarily your ability scores that reflects more like the more time you spend on the ship. But for now, let's make a check. It would be a vehicle check, which I don't even know what
Water vehicles.
what stat does water vehicles make a roll based off of?
Well, I mean, would it be like survival or like nature or like dex for the captain to like steer real good?
We'll do it this way for now, because I need to noodle on that a little bit. Let's call it, because I don't even necessarily want to make it be like a vehicle check. Let's call it a d20 plus whatever your character's primary stat is, to reflect that like all of you are working together on this, and you are using whatever your particular like set of skills is. That is how you are helping the crew.
I got an 18 on a wisdom check.
Okay.
It was almost a nat 20.
I don't know how charisma helps, but I got a 17. And it'd be a 16 for wisdom of my next highest.
26. It was a nat 20 plus 6.
Oh,
for
very
a
good.
Dex check.
Wait, are we adding our proficiency bonus to this too?
Sure, why not?
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
because I don't know how you get a 26 if you're just rolling like a dex check. Then it's
Okay.
That's what I
I'll-
thought he was implying.
Oh. Well, alright. I did the stealth then, and I got a 25.
I
Okay.
got a 21 on wisdom then if we add our proficiency bonus.
All right. Thyxes rolled a 2, so it doesn't
Bonus
matter
is
what his
19.
modifier is.
Oh, buddy. Tried so hard. Got so far.
Okay. So, you guys sail to the south. You redirect towards where Eldon is able to tell you that the vessel he was on, where the Starling Wit went down, where it was attacked by these Sahajan Reavers. You bear to the west, and you investigate kind of the western coastline of this, that little sort of lumpy shaped unnamed island right to the east of Valsarai. You start to sort of like scoot around to that coast a little bit. This is an unpopulated island. It's just, you see some like rocky cliffs and things, forest. Doesn't appear to be any civilization on this island. It's not particularly big. It's only like a mile across, maybe. Using a combination of Scylla's magics, sort of communing with the natural environment here, with Macbeth's navigational skills, with the sort of maybe more generally applied skill set of like Rowan and Nymue towards like keeping the crew in line, keeping things operating smoothly so that you guys are able to like efficiently move around in this area. And with a little bit of help from like some of your other maybe more experienced piratey crews consulting, you kind of focus your search on places that like strike you as like good places for, in your sailing experience, the places that you become like leery of, being opportune places for an ambush or somebody to jet out and attack you from, if they were to hide. And you find your way to a small, like stony, rocky island just to the south of this little piece, a tiny little spit of land. And it's almost undetectable because it's so like narrow and partially overgrown by these like hanging vines. But you see that there is an opening that leads to an interior cove inside this little rocky outcropping. And the other thing that you notice is attached to the outside of this, there are, even though they're camouflaged, there are these like stakes that have been like driven into the rock here that have something lashed to it that is submerged under the water. This opening is large enough basically for like a longboat to get through, like one of your rowboats. The Grimm's Folly is not by far too large to like get to the interior of this island.
Do we want to take a rowboat in? Okay, apparently I'm in charge because no one's saying anything.
I said sure. It just may
I
not
was
have come
giving
through.
I was giving thumbs up.
Rowan's staring at where everything's lashed, and she just looks highly uncomfortable, so she's not talking right now. She's just like, yeah.
That's a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, she...
Feels like a trap.
Captain, is it fair to request that we position the ship with a cannon facing that cove? Just in case?
Like, right as she was asking that question, Murderbeard just, like, slaps the wheel so that, like, the ship starts...
Same brain, same brain.
Make it hard, I can't. He's like...
Immediately, the Grimspire begins to like.
Nice.
The whole crew's got to make a dex check because everybody's like, oh, shit.
Rowan's just like, oh, great, I share a brain with my pirate captain. Like, she's having a crisis for a minute, and then she's like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Apora like comes up from below deck as this maneuver begins, and like the ship begins to lurch, and like almost without breaking stride, she like shifts her weight so that she's standing at like a 45-degree angle as the ship begins to turn, and she just calls out, "All hands brace! The captain is drifting the boat."
Can I just like
I
ritually
like to keep
cast
my crew
water
on their
breathing?
toes.
Yeah, you have plenty of time. Like,
Yeah, I want to ritually cast water breathing on all of us, but I like rub a little bit of seawater on everyone's necks, and they grow gills, and it doesn't feel good.
Thyxes is probably like, ah, gross, and then he like keeps touching him, and he's like, oh, it's so gross, but I can't stop touching it. Oh, it's gross. Are you guys
Murderbeard has continuously like pulled beard out
beard
of
out of it?
skills.
Ugh.
Oh, great, yeah, this
So
is just what I wanted.
with your gills, are you guys just going into the water,
Or is that just in case he's...
or is that just in
That's
case?
just in case.
Oh,
That's
okay.
just in cases. Because it lasts 24 hours.
Okay.
And-
Oh,
Okay.
yuck.
Scylla, can any...
Oh,
or
yeah.
maybe fix this. Can anybody cast Speak with Animals yet?
Yes.
No.
I'm gonna try and summon with the Trident of Fish command any like local sea life that isn't a horrible monster.
Okay.
And maybe we can get some intel from the local fish.
I mean, do you want me to just go look?
Well, he's going to summon, and then he wants you to talk
I'm gonna ask see if we can get some intel from the local fish.
So the spell to speak with animals lasts for 10 minutes. Just so you know.
So it's a quick conversation.
Yeah.
Got
I don't think we need to have more than a 10-minute long conversation with a bass.
you. Never
You.
know.
It's not gonna be a
Might have
bass.
something cool to say.
You like.
I have to make a roll, right?
What you're gonna do is you're gonna cast Dominate Beast. So actually, the creature that I have deemed is like
It has to
closest
make, yeah.
to where you
a
are is
DC
gonna make a
15.
save. A DC 15. That's 9. You cast that you like stick the trident into the water and you like Aquaman style. You like boop, 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 cast out this Dominate, and a minute or two later, I presume the ship is anchored at this point because you've turned it broadside to this cove. So like the chain for the anchor is like hanging from the side of the ship at a slight angle, like as it descends into the water. And up the chain, a crab comes like scuttling upward, and it sort of like looks at you and like raises his little pinchies. That crab is under your control currently.
Hold on, I'm looking at my spells. Do you... You're gonna make me cast fucking speak with animals. I can talk to animals without needing the spell, but to understand them back, I need to cast the spell. Man, how long do the fish stay under your command?
It's only 1 minute.
Dominate Beast lasts for up to a minute.
Okay, so it's gonna swim for 1 minute and then just like leave? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I can also cast it if you don't want to use another spell slot.
As you say,
Oh,
the
I
point is, like, I'm
can.
trying to get information from the crab. My job was just getting the crab to us.
Here, yeah.
Okay, then I will cast. Alright. It's first level. Okay. Yeah, I just wave my hand in front of my face and it just shimmers a little bit, and then I will talk to the crab.
Alright, so
I
you
cast Speak with
you cast
Animals.
Speak with animals, and the crab looks at you and holds up his little pinchies. And he goes, "Under the sea! Under the sea!" No, he doesn't do that. That's horrible.
And we're gonna
Kick
get
it
copyright.
off the deck if it
There's a guy in Florida writing a cease and desist right now.
The crab gets yeeted across the boat, and Zeno's like, nope.
You cast Speak with Animals. The crab says, "Why have you summoned me?"
Tiny friend, can you tell me what am I asking you guys? What am I asking it? Just
What
like,
is
what am I-
tied over there?
Yeah, like try and get a layout of what's over there, what might be going
Oh,
on.
I
like-
decided the
I
crab
could've
has.
just-
I
I
decided
could've
the crab
just-
has a different voice again. I'm prepared
Okay.
now.
Oh god.
What is tied under the water at the entrance to this cave?
Over there?
Yes.
Oh, where them boats?
Yes. Where the boats go.
No, that's what do you got?
He said one.
Got
of them.
clams in your head?
Oh, it is a
Oh,
boat.
it's a ball, boy, I tell you.
Under the water?
Yeah.
How many large beings like my size are in there?
Oh, your size? Oh, touch. Nobody your size.
Ah! The crab is misogynistic. Ah!
I'm a crab. We don't have.
I'm just there. Like,
We haven't had-
Scylla,
we-
like.
Crab Me Too hasn't happened yet.
Oh my god. How many? Do you know what the Sahajin is? How many are in there? I could have just gone as a crab myself and looked at this, but we're here now.
He says, oh, those bastards. I hate those bastards. And it makes me want to give them the clamps.
Do they have any beasts under their command, like a shark?
Just, oh, always. It's friggin'
Yeah.
chumps. They love their sharks. Like, sharks is so great. I'm sort of turning into Gilbert Gottfried a little.
I was gonna say.
I'm a crab. I have very inconsistent dialect.
Oh, it's a parrot now.
It's Jafar's
I relay what I've heard from this strange crab so far, and ask what else do you want me to ask this crab? He's very aggressive.
Did he give you a number on how many of those creepy guys are there, or not? He just
No,
telling
he-
how
he-
awful they are.
He was just hitting on me a little bit.
Oh,
You're not my type. Look at your pincers. They're tiny. I like a gal with nice, meaty claws.
Meaty claws.
The spell. End the spell quickly.
I will go, alright, well, this didn't go as expected, and then I will just,
how big?
like,
I was gonna say how
Holy crap,
far
back in
does
the-
the cave go, but okay, bye.
I literally could have just looked. I could have just gone and looked.
Okay.
Yeah, but if they could sense magic or anything weird, or just know you're not a normal crab, that could have gone wrong.
The Murderbeard flicks the crab. He says, "How dare you disrespect me like this? You've made an enemy today."
Oh, okay. The crab is probably
Splishes
going
into-
to go tell the Sahajin that we're here.
Well, there goes the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a boat tied under there.
Oh, okay. That's how they hide the.
Well, at least it's not a
monster?
Yeah. I don't know what monster I was thinking of, but I'm just glad it's not like a monster down there.
Kinda hard to sink a ship that's already underwater.
Then we just kill them all, right?
Right.
Thyxes is like, whoa!
I mean,
He's like, pirates! Tries to give you a high five.
I go.
We
oh,
could.
Yes,
I'm
but you don't
encouraging
have to be
this.
so upfront about it.
I have an idea. This is pretty morbid. I don't know if this is Christy or Nymue.
Oh, you're worried about me now. I turned
Let's
to the
hope it's
lamp,
better
like,
than my
please.
dumb crab idea. I thought that would
I
go
was
over
gonna
it.
say we get some black powder and just blow up the entrance so they can't get out.
But then we
wouldn't be able
won't
to
get the
stuff.
thing.
All right, we need to get the thing. Never mind. That's if we were.
We
being
get the
late.
thing and then we
Then
do
we
that.
do that.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I can make us walk on water, but they will probably see us from above. I don't know that we have any sort of element of surprise here. So we could just go in guns blazing and see what happens.
All the
Could
guns-
fire a warning shot at the cove.
See if that stirs them up or something.
Are they like ants? But if you like mess with their anthill, they all come swarming out.
Oh, there are sharks in their control, by the way.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I can make you walk on water too, in addition to breathing it. If you need that again.
Make it easier for the sharks to get you.
Well, if you get pulled down, you'll be able to breathe, and then you'll float back up if you get out.
Is there land to stand on anywhere, or is it all just water fighting from what we can see? Because I know you said there's like rocks and vines and such, but I'm wondering how much land there is to like physically fight on.
In the cave.
Yeah, or like in the little entrance.
Is it just like a cave with... I guess we'd have to go in to find out, wouldn't we?
At least from the entrance, it is just like that. It's you have to go in via water.
All right, let's get one of the robots. Check this out. And all else fails, we just blow it up.
Nymue, can you do the thing with somebody on the ship?
Absolutely. Who wants to be on boom duty?
What is
What
that?
now?
Boom duty, make something go boom.
Oh, I heard it. I heard something else. I was very confused.
Boop.
Well, it would be someone on the ship, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, we
asking the
can-
ship. I'm like, who wants to do it?
Apora Dazan is like, I will handle the crew.
All
and
right.
Keep things under control here while you're away. It is my job, after all.
I will mind link and say, well, I'll let you know when we need the big gun.
Apora nods and says, I will keep the crew alert and the guns trained on the entrance to the cove.
Try not
Yeah.
to shoot any of them.
Yeah, and they like as you say that, they like turn to the crew who's like getting ready to man the guns, and they go, and we will not shoot the captain or the other officers if they come out of the opening first, right, gentlemen and ladies? And there's this sort of like general like, right, yes, we won't blast the captain with the cannons.
And if you have to shoot somebody, make it Thyxes. I like slap him on the back and I go over the side. To the robot.
Oh. Are we
He
swimming?
falls into the rowboat.
into
You,
the top of
you
the
slap
okay.
him right as he's like still playing with one of those gills, and he accidentally like sticks his finger too far into the gill and goes like, "Ah!"
Oh.
He goes, oh, I touched my own uvula through my neck gills. He gets off the boat.
Right now, Murderbeard's like, okay, never mind. Just starts paddling away.
I'll teach Michael not to come to session.
Michael just...
Birthday, we love you.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Michael.
There he had the
I'm sorry we
birthday.
gave your character gills and then we're mean to
Made
him.
him,
Made you
make him
him.
finger himself in the
Made you
gills.
finger your own
Okay,
gills.
I was trying not to say that.
Well,
Well,
It happened, we're here.
you pause to the wrong
well,
group of people.
you're in a rowboat now.
Oh.
Uh,
we row.
and you row.
Row.
And you row and you row. You get to the entrance of the cove, alongside the stakes that you know have been used to lash the submerged, sunken Sahajin Reaver ship. And before you lies the little rocky, narrow waterway that will lead you deeper within. Are you rowing onward?
Really, yeah, I feel like we gotta.
All right.
Go.
Should we attempt to row stealthily?
Yes,
You can row
please.
stealthily.
I want to try and roll stealthily.
Yeah.
Is that a group check or a rower's
Yeah,
check?
that's probably a group check since you're like
Alrighty.
collectively rowing.
Oh,
What's it?
3!
Yellow?
Scylla falls out the boat.
A 3 for Scylla,
8.
8 for Rowan.
13 plus 6.
Okay.
21.
Thyxes gets also a 3.
Yay! The crab is like swimming alongside our boat, and Thyxes and I are like telling it to like piss off.
So I think probably what happens is in a sort of a little bit of a clanking of armor and a squeaking of pants, and Scylla, I think you probably like you're having to like hunch down as you guys row into this like narrow outcropping, and at some point like a little piece of like rock that's jutting down like a little too far, like kind of like donks you in the side of the head, and a piece of the rock falls off and like hits with like a sort of a loud reverberating like talk, just hits the side of the boat and then like splashes into the water.
Thyxes, why did you do that?
He turns around. He's like, what?
Get the finger out!
You guys sail to the interior of this cove. You see it opens up again. Just as this like splish in the water, you smack Thyxes' hand away from the gill again. And at the sound of that splish, you hear this like, and he goes, "Oh, that one wasn't me. I think that was those monsters." And he points, and sure enough, I will just so you guys can check it on stream because I'll open this. What you guys see as you row in, you see what looks like a very old, abandoned, falling apart, dilapidated smuggler's cove here. Clearly the structures that are in here, it's these like rotting, falling apart docks with a bunch of like old crates and things like that. It looks like they have been in disrepair, but were clearly built by not built by these aquatic creatures. They seem to have just moved in here. But you see that there are, in fact, a little over, it looks like a half dozen Sahajin kind of milling around in this space. Including in the back, further away, 2 extremely large specimens of their species. Double the size of the others. And as you guys have, like, rowed in, they have, like, looked to you, and they begin to heft weapons. And as they see you, and you see them, and you prepare to clash forces with these aquatic sea devils who sunk the Starling Wit and made off with some sort of valuable prize, call an end to tonight's session. So, hey, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank everyone at home for watching, for supporting by giving just more and more money to my players that they can use to wreak havoc upon the world. And the crew is broken. We will be back next week, Tuesday. Birthday week is going to be the least right now, the plan for the birthday week episode is going to be just the regular Fool's Errand group. But I'm noodling on if maybe there is a way to do something special that maybe I can try to get everybody.
Well, either way, I have to be there.
Russell is there either way. So I'm still noodling around on what we might do. But at the very least, no matter what, we have some giveaways we're going to do. All of the other shows next week have giveaways. So be sure, do not miss next week's episodes. We have dice to give away. We have other prizes from Cardboard Castle and from Little Dragon Corp. I am giving away in any number of shows the opportunity for to do a hand-drawn map for people. I think I haven't heard any confirmation yet, but I know the Probo pool of artists has also been sort of pinged to see if anybody else wants to offer up some art as prizes. So there's a possibility of that. We have some extremely talented artists. Most of my character art has always come from within the Probo family. I don't want to. I mean, I'll give a shout out to Para right now. Para does our art. I don't want to. I'm not signing them up for anything. Going forward,
Citrus Rain is going to be offering a portrait for the Star Wars giveaway night.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, lots of cool stuff. Excellent shows, fun prizes, things to do, people to see. Next week is Probo's birthday week, kicking off probably, I assume, on Sunday. So, thank you once again to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp, Cardboard Castle. Be sure to give them a peek. And we will see you guys next week. Anybody else have any other announcements before we go? Alrighty.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Michael.
Stop playing with your gills. You're gonna go blind.
A finger with your gills.
We love you.
Happy birthday,
Every time he comes
Michael.
back.
And-
This is what happens when you leave us alone.
Yeah.
You've done, Dan.